Hi, everyone. I will be presenting a brief introduction to the Spanish language. And I thought it would be fun to start with a little two truths and a lie. Um, Two questions. The first one, set of three. I think we all know the rules. First statement in the indigenous Mexican language, Nahuatl, aguacate means both avocado and testicle. Second, Spanish was officially declared Mexico's national language in 1810. And third, some Mexican Spanish words are so localized that they aren't understood in other Spanish speaking countries. Now, you could pause the video if you need some more time to think, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you what the lie is, or the incorrect statement. The incorrect statement is Spanish was officially declared Mexico's national language in 1810. Spanish was never officially declared to be the national language. Um, Mexico doesn't have a single national language. Right, and then the second game, first statement. Spanish has been spoken in Mexico longer than any other language. Second, Mexico is home to more native Spanish speakers than Spain. And third, Mexican Spanish includes features that are considered archaic in European Spanish. So again, you could pause the video, but the incorrect statement is Spanish has been spoken in Mexico longer than any other language. Spanish has only been spoken in Mexico since the 1500s, while the indigenous languages are over 5,000 years old. So next, I'd like to go over some useful words and phrases. The first one being por favor, or please. The second is tiene, do you have? Third, pardon, or disculpe, which means pardon me or excuse me, respectively. Fourth is ¿qué tal, or what's up? Fifth is ¿dónde está, or where is it? Usually you'd add something. Where is, ¿dónde está is where is. Usually you'd add something to the end, um, like ¿dónde está el baño? Where's the bathroom? Sixth is ¿cuánto cuesta? How much? Um, if you were holding up an object, at a store, you could say ¿cuánto cuesta? How much? If it's an object you can't reference in the moment, you'd want to specify, of course. Seventh is ¿qué hora es? What time is it? And then lastly, we have ¿cómo estás?, which is how are you? While Spanish is spoken in several countries, slang is one way in which the language is uniquely spoken from country to country. So I'm going to go over some Mexican slang terms, although there are hundreds of slang words and phrases, but I won't make you sit here and listen to all of them. So I'm only going to go over six here. But the first one is mande, which is what, as in like I didn't hear that, or could you say that again? The second one is aguas, which means careful or watch out. Three is no manches, which means really or are you serious? Four is gue, or dude. Neta is for real, and chidu is cool. And then, just to give a brief history of the Spanish language, I'll say, the Spanish language in Mexico. It began with the Spanish conquest in 1519, and over time blended with indigenous languages like Nahuatl as colonial rule expanded. Yeah. And then Spanish, over time became the dominant language in government, education, and religion. But just despite this, words from indigenous languages like Nahuatl can still be heard in Spanish today. And I'll go over a few of those now, but just wanted to say first that Spanish, while it's the most strongly associated language with Mexican culture, there are 67 other languages that are spoken in Mexico, in addition to Nahuatl. It's important to acknowledge these languages' role in shaping Mexican culture. So here are some. The first one is from Nahuatl. It's chocolatl, or chocolate. The second is chilpoctli, which means smoked chili. And the Spanish language has adapted this over time into chipotle. Um, the third is tamal, or tamale, which means tamale. The fourth is a Yucatec Mayan word, balam, which means jaguar. It's probably a very important word in their culture. The jaguar was sacred to them. Um, and then another word from the Yucatec Mayan language is kahab, which means honey. And then lastly, we have one from the Zapotec language, which is gui, which means sun. And then lastly, um, we have a map of um, the areas in which Spanish is most prominently spoken, or a map that displays the areas in which Spanish is spoken. And you can see that, California, um, where I live, it's maybe 50 or 60% Spanish speaking, which is significant. But I thought I'd share the map because it provides some good insight into the prevalence of Mexican and Mexican American culture in the United States. Because I think language and culture go hand in hand, so it's reasonable to expect that Mexican American culture will be stronger in areas that speak more Spanish. Um, and that is it for my presentation. Hope you guys found something interesting. Thanks for watching.